Hello, hello. So happy to have you all here this afternoon. I am Amanda Haas, and I am a culinary ambassador for Whole Foods Market and a cookbook author, and this weekend the host of this gorgeous culinary stage. So welcome to the Napa Valley. I'm really excited about this next film and the food that you get to eat with it. I'd like to introduce the filmmakers, Gab Terboulsi and Alex Emanuel. We're going to take a look at a clip from their movie, Funky.
There's very few people that think about the actual shape of pasta like I do. I want to create the most comprehensive pasta program in the United States. I want you to eat everything. The geometry, the actual shape of pasta, it all has meaning.
He's probably one of the best pasta makers in America, definitely handmade pasta.
How far can you push the hydration? How far can you restrain it?
Just like he does. I want people to be able to see how much work went into this bowl of pasta. But sometimes to people, it's just the pasta.
When you dunk it, I want the water to move in a very uniform way.
I mean, Evan's like crazy. When you have a guy who's that invested and that singularly focused, you end up getting a really, really great product, but you also get like a little bit of insanity with it.
It can't just be all about the romance of pasta. It has to be a modern approach to how to make the shape taste like and feel like it's made by machine, but still have the soul of all that history and all that work and all that technical knowledge. We can't just make dough and throw it in the hopper and sheet it out and make shapes.
You've got a guy who refuses to compromise and is coming back to reclaim what was sort of taken from him.
Fusilli, garganelli, caramelle, maloredos, briganti, caumbasa, orecchiette, pappardelle, lorigitas. With my hands, I can make 188 of the 365 documented shapes. Passion's not the word. I'm fucking maniacal about pasta.
Oh, I love it already. Oh, that's amazing. Well, we're so lucky today to have Chef Hilary Souza join us to create a beautiful dish of orecchiette. So come on out, Chef. Hi, Hilary. How are you? Oh, I love it. You have the Peroni apron on. This is amazing.
I'm going to go on a boat later, I decided. It feels right with a Peroni in my hand.
I think that's a great idea. Well,
Yeah.
Chef has taught a ton of pasta classes in her lifetime as well, so I think it's really fun. We're going to do this. I haven't made fresh pasta in ages, so
Yeah.
she's going to put me through my paces. But one of the most fun things, too, is that we have JR here from Peroni, and we'll get to talk about this beautiful pairing between the beer and the pasta as well. So cheers. This is fun up here.
Right.
So, Chef, to kick us off, what are we going to do to get started with this fresh pasta?
We're going to be talking about pasta. I'm going to show you how to make a pasta dough while you roll it.
I'm going to do the work.
Pasta isn't an everyday thing.
Right.
If you've seen the film, there's a lot of discussion about this. It takes a while. It takes time.
Right.
The beautiful thing about it, though, is once you're done, it's one of the most rewarding things you can eat. It's a comfort food. It's beautiful. And I just start off by saying, when you're gonna make pasta at home, clear your schedule, invite over some friends. I used to have ravioli parties, and everyone would bring a chilled filling.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and you just destroy one person's kitchen, and
Could be
then
mine.
everyone goes home with Ziplocs of different raviolis
That's so
to put in their
fun.
freezer.
Amazing,
right?
right?
Yeah, you're
Maybe
all
we can
about
get
it.
Evan to come.
All right, so I'm gonna
What are we
put
gonna start
Amanda
for the
over
dough?
here. This is a rich egg dough, which I'm gonna demo making.
Okay.
But I'm gonna have her roll it out on this electric roller. Who has a pasta machine? Anybody?
Whether it's the hand crank or
Hand
an
crank?
attachment.
Yes, they're a really good thing to have. I always say they're great to lend to people. The funny story about mine is I got mine for my 13th Christmas. I was
Wow.
13 years old. And I remember it was Christmas because my dad left for a few hours and he came back and there was pasta hung everywhere in the house.
Wow.
I took old gift wrap, put it between hangers, and had noodles in every single room.
Incredible.
And when he came home, he goes, "What happened?" I'm like, I made pasta.
I made some pasta.
Yes.
Well, I love when I read about Chef Hilary that she at age 8, instead of watching cartoons, would watch cooking shows on
Yes.
PBS. And by 8 years old, you were cooking for your family.
Yes, every day. It
What's up with my kids? I don't know.
you just.
Neither one of them has the bug like that.
All right, so this is the dough. It's a rich one.
Are we going to run the whole thing through to sheet it to start?
Yes.
Okay.
So you want to make sure you use plenty of flour
Right.
when you're using an electric machine, especially.
Okay.
And you want to start on the lowest setting, which means the whitest.
The whitest.
So we're going to turn this on
Okay.
pretty slow. Hold on. I'm going to
Little
get
flatter?
it a little flatter first.
Okay.
And we're going to send this through. And this is going to be your life for a little bit.
That's great. I'm going to put it a couple times through on the one and get it up to about 6, you
Yes,
said, for
so
thinness.
this actually did a really good job. But when you're at home and you start rolling out pasta and you get this really thin strip,
Right.
I call it the envelope fold. I fold it like this,
This
so
is
that
how I was taught.
you get two smooth sides
So
and
smart.
you get it to fit perfectly in the machine.
Right back in.
That way you get a higher yield of raviolis.
Oh, okay. So I'm just
Right
going to
on.
keep envelope folding it?
No, that's
just
that'll
one
be
time.
Good. Yep.
And now I can
And just make sure you keep flouring it.
Great.
And go nuts. So I'm
go
going to show you
crazy.
how that dough is made. Who's done this before? No bowl. It's really fun. You've done it.
And while she starts, see, I already kind of got it off on a bad angle. I would love to ask Gab and Alex how you found this story to tell of Evan Funky's. It's pretty amazing.
Oh, wow. Well, so I'll let you kick it off because you got a real personal connection to having encountered Evan.
Yeah, I was living in Culver City at the time in Los Angeles, and my wife and I were dating at the time. And we would sit at the counter and see Evan Funky making his pasta, and he was expediting and dousing everything with olive oil, and he looked like the angriest person I've ever seen in the world. Because if you've ever seen him, which you just have, you know, he has full tattoos, shaved
Yeah.
head, anvil beard, and I was really intimidated to go up to him.
Right.
And we just had the most amazing meal of our lives. And I went up to him and I said, "Chef, excuse me, that was one of the best meals I've ever had."
Wow.
And I thought that this really mean person was going to come out, this really abrasive person, and instead he was genuinely very happy and very nice and kind. And Gab and I had been working for many years together, and I said, "Gab, there's something special with this person.
Wow.
I think we should look into him more."
Wow. And I wanted to point out, too, I didn't realize they make films with Taste Made, which is a company I really fell in love with their video content. But this is the first feature film that they made that you two went to them with. So congratulations.
Yeah, somehow
Yeah.
we convinced them to like go from 5 to 10 minute form content all the way to
Oh, my God.
feature length. Yeah.
Right. And so you decided after meeting him that this was worth trying to do a film about because his career took a really interesting turn, right? Will you share with them what you shared
Well,
with me?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from Alex going there to me going there to, you know, see what he was so excited about,
How am I doing?
to feeling as excited as he was,
Yes.
this restaurant was like in ascent. It was like a shooting star.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, one day to the next, it ceases to exist.
Crazy.
Which, you know, restaurants come and go all the time, but like not when they're like this national
Right.
in recognition and this
Absolutely.
nascent. So as soon as that happened and Evan disappeared, we'd put a pin in it as like, this is unusual.
Right.
So as soon as he kind of, the word of his comeback came out, we jumped on him and we're like, are you willing to share the story of what happened,
Right.
what will happen. And at the same time, we were like, pitching Tastemade the idea of a longer form project.
Wow, that's unbelievable. And everybody went for it. He said, okay.
Yeah.
That's
well, like
amazing.
our condition with Evan was that like once he says yes, he can never change his mind. So we were like, go and think about it because we
Yes.
can't be
Thank you.
down the road like 2 years making a film on you and suddenly you decide that it's no longer convenient. You
Right.
don't like what's
You
happening.
can't- yeah.
Once you say you're in,
It's a
like
commitment.
for life. So really think about it. And he said yes. And we told him like we will stop at nothing to get it made the best that we can.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing. I'm laughing so hard. I'm really glad he's not here because
Yeah,
I was turning up
How's it going?
I was turning up the speed on the pasta instead of changing the sheet. So I just kept putting it through. It's probably completely overworked.
I saw you guys having a freak out over there. I was trying to cover with story.
Thank
but-
you. You did a beautiful job. So, Chef, if I were doing this perfectly, I'd already be done, but that's okay.
No. It takes time.
God,
and
but it's so
actually,
fun.
Taking your time, make sure that your pasta is very smooth.
Oh,
it doesn't crack.
Gorgeous. It's well hydrated.
yeah,
the egg, I like in it.
Right here is that like picture perfect. Get your Instagram shot right
That
now.
sure is.
But this is a well. Some people use their hand. I use the bottom of whatever I measured with.
Right.
But what I love about pasta, and you guys know this now, is it's pretty much a demographic study of Italy when you do the recipes.
Yeah.
So the closer you are to the bigger cities, the more olive oil and whole eggs and egg yolk will be in there. So the Roman pastas. The
Really
further
rich.
you go out to the country is when you get the even coarser flour with just water, maybe a touch of olive oil.
Right.
But right here I have 2 cups of flour with 2 whole eggs, and I'm gonna do 2 egg yolks.
Okay.
I love telling the home cook this is cracking your egg on a flat surface is the best way to do it. It creates a larger crack than on the side of a bowl.
I tell you how excited I am about this. This is like
I know.
better than Play-Doh.
This
I haven't
is
done
a
this in
great
ages. It's
activity for
gorgeous.
kids.
Right.
They love doing this. If any of you have kids at home, I recommend Pasta Party.
This was on 6. What do you think? Too thick?
Do more.
Okay.
6 is different. So 2 egg yolks. I'm gonna put a touch of olive oil in here
Wow.
for richness.
Okay.
And a little salt. I season everything at every step of the way.
Right.
So this is the fun part. You start mixing
Start mixing.
and you try not to break your dam or your little well. That's why I hold this in the other hand in case it does break, you can catch it. Have you guys
That's
done
a
this?
good method. Yeah, that's a great method.
So I teach this a lot hands-on, and people start to panic at this
Yeah.
point, and they're like,
What's happening?
It's not coming together, but just have faith, be calm like a grandma would be making this.
Yes. Patience. And I love that it's just a couple simple ingredients.
Absolutely.
Hearing Evan talk about it in the movie too, the obsession with hydration and all of these other things. But as I've worked with chefs who focus on pasta over time, they all develop their own way of doing things, right? Like I worked on a book where literally he refused to enrich it at all. It was flour and water, and I was like, this is a crumbly mess. And by the time they'd pass it through the pasta maker, it was gorgeous.
Yes.
So what a beautiful exploration you got to, the journey that you got to go on with Chef, right? This is amazing. Okay, so it's sticky.
Yes.
Maybe stickier than people would expect.
This has a technical term in the food world, and
Yes.
it's called shaggy mass.
Shaggy mess, I'm with you on
It's
that
one of my favorite words. So the one thing I tell people is depending on your humidity,
Yeah,
not
humility?
your humility. No, your humidity.
We want to be humble.
The size of your chickens, you know, what the moisture is in the room, your altitude, everything. I sometimes will start mixing my pasta without all the flour in it,
Right.
just in case it doesn't want it all.
This is why it's so important to touch things as you cook, right? There's
Right.
no substitute for feeling it
Right.
and understanding what it's like. So you're going for a certain consistency over anything else.
Yes, and this is another part where people freak out. You just keep going
Just keep going.
until it's smooth.
You don't panic. Can you overwork this?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Well, and with the egg,
Unless you
hopefully
went for
not,
like 2
since I
days.
just put it through the pasta sheeter about 20 times instead of 8. But,
That's one of the best sheets I've ever seen.
It's a beautiful machine, actually. It's the Kenwood that comes with a ton of attachments, which I love.
All right.
Beautiful.
So Kneading, and you can
Kneading,
see
kneading.
it's coming together, and I haven't touched
Yeah,
this
like
pile of flour yet. So,
I would
and if
think-
it's too dry, you can put a little more oil.
Yeah.
My other kitchen trick is try to keep one hand clean if you can while you're cooking, because that means you can open the door, take a picture, help somebody. And I just try to do everything with one hand until it's all clean. So,
Hey, in every demo I joke there's a big takeaway. Why have I never done that? My entire kitchen always looks like a murder scene. Like I
Yeah.
have prints everywhere.
instead of blood, it's flour, right?
I mean, it's just like messy Marvin. That's so
All right.
smart.
So we're gonna keep working this.
It's true. I'm not a clean cook.
And if you've done it right, your hand will start to come clean.
Right, that's how you know. That's a
right?
great cue.
Evan's hands are clean, right?
Oh yeah, he's got like baby like hands.
Isn't
They're,
that
like,
crazy?
so delicate?
Yeah. So will you share the story as well of kind of this restaurant closes and disappears off the face of the earth, and then he decides he wants to do something new.
Yeah.
And you heard that he wanted to have kind of a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, the news broke of the comeback, right, Alex? Yeah. Like it was on Eater in LA, and we were like passing this article around, like
Right.
now's the time to pounce. And
Go get him.
I think I was randomly at a dinner party where Janet, the co-owner of the restaurant,
Right.
was there, and she was giving me this inside intel, and I was like, okay, this sounds like it's going to be a really special
Right.
thing. It was clear that she was putting, her life and soul into it as well.
Sure.
So that's when I think Alex went on a meeting with Evan, and they started hatching a plan.
Had a heart-to-heart.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
commitment ceremony.
Exactly.
Right? It's a
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
thing to do this with somebody.
And the first place we took him to was back to Bucato, which was frozen in time from the last service.
Wow.
So there were dishpans out it looked like it was
Can you
just
imagine?
a time capsule.
He's
of
like,
their-
oh, that's where I left that.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so the first day of shooting, we brought him back there.
Wow.
And we basically ripped the Band-Aid off. We're like, let's start getting to know each other.
Let's talk about what happened.
That was emotional.
It was, I mean, he was finding old tools. He was finding old mozzarellas because
Wow.
So
He had
and
built that place with his own hands and his family.
it was his pasta cathedral, and it's one of the opening scenes in the film.
Wow, that's so powerful. And the fact you got to tell this story is really, really amazing,
Yeah.
right? So here we are trying to bring one of his favorite shapes to life, right? I can't
Well-
believe he said 300. How many documented shapes of pasta? Over 300?
Over
Yeah.
300.
He can make 180.
180, yeah.
With his hands.
Do you guys have a favorite shape?
Which one do you have?
That's hard. That's
It
like
is
asking
hard.
what your favorite
Evan makes
or
Trophier,
kid is.
which is like it's the one in Puglia that they pair with pesto.
Right,
And that's like,
Love it.
yeah, emotional every time for me.
right.
Any of his stuffed pastas from Bologna.
Oh, I
his
love
tagliatelle from Bologna. His bolognese
From Bologna?
Yeah, so he learned from the maestra Alessandra Spisni.
Mm-hmm.
She's a very famous chef in Bologna, Italy, and they have a very close relationship, which we show in the film.
Right.
And if you ever go to Felix in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
you want to stay to the Bolognian menu.
Okay.
Because it's, I think, his most authentic dishes.
Oh, that's incredible.
Beautiful.
So what are you going to have us make today?
Well, I wanted to show you rich pasta dough because this is pretty much what you make the really fun stuff with. The raviolis, the tortellinis, also really rich pappardelle for
Yeah.
nice ragu.
Toothy, it holds up.
Yeah, but you want to work
You got to
this.
work it.
And if you make this, you can in a KitchenAid, it can wear out the motor. It's a very dry pasta, so with the dough hook, just stay in the room with it, and if you hear it struggling, give it a rest.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had some break on me. But, but I always make jokes at this point about how buff Italian nonis are. If you meet an Italian grandmother, she's not...
ripped.
She's ripped, yeah. And it's from this action right here.
Right.
So I'm gonna have you take over. You
Okay,
can see
I can
how
just knead
smooth
away.
that is.
Woo!
I know.
Sorry, the board went with me.
Here, let me.
But I have to say, if you haven't been back to Blanc Creatives yet behind me, they are the ones who made this beautiful board and all of these wood tools, and they make the cookware by hand.
Let me make
Stunning.
you stationary.
Oh, she's going to help me. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Chef. But this is like an incredible board. Yeah, it is. You know what's funny? Having not done this in a while, I would have stopped. I would have been like, I'm done. You want it, no, keep going.
Keep going. You want
Okay.
it nice and
If she
smooth
says so.
and supple.
I believe you.
Yeah,
Like,
and the
wow.
more you do it, the more tender your dough is gonna be.
Terrific.
All right.
Okay, so what's next?
So we have this beautiful sheet here. And in the movie, Evan mentions people kind of stressing out about the cost of pasta. But if you've made raviolis and how many raviolis come in a bowl, you know there's some work put in there.
Right.
So love. Yeah, absolutely. When I make raviolis at home, I always make a really unique filling so people know you made it.
Mm-hmm.
You're like,
It's nice.
Can't find that anywhere.
I gotta come back to your house.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is take a piece of this, and I am a person who saves time anywhere I can. Instead of putting filling and brushing around it,
So smart. Like, why have we not been doing this?
I don't
Come
know,
on.
but don't tell Evan.
Right, don't tell Evan. Would he be cursing
No, I'm
at
gonna
us
say
right
a
now?
lot of stuff. Don't tell him. Okay?
This is how to apply it to the home cook, though, right? And it's
Right.
part of the reason why we'll always want to visit his restaurant, because he'll do things that we would never do at home, right?
Right.
And so
This is just to make it a little easier at home. Here
Right.
I have some ricotta. If you put a little bit of lemon zest, a grating of nutmeg and salt,
delicious, simple,
incredible. So I'm
amazing.
gonna put little.
So could you freeze this? Could you make a bunch of these and freeze them?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I think that's the only way to go if you're going to do pasta, because so much labor, right? But you knock out a ton and then you can enjoy it for a long time.
Yes, and
Okay.
it keeps really well.
Right.
I like to IQF mine, which means to individually freeze them on a sheet tray. Once they become frozen, you can throw them in a bag together and they won't stick together.
That's a great suggestion.
All right, so I'm gonna put this pasta
top?
on top, and I'm going to push out the air. So before pushing down, I go around my filling first,
Okay?
like
Beautiful.
so.
Beautiful.
So you could use a ring mold, you could use a character figurine here.
You could do whatever you want.
Yes.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
So
I love the pastas too, where you can put an egg yolk on the top
Oh,
of that
yeah.
inside, right, and then cook
That's
it and
probably
it
the
breaks
one I
open.
make
So
the
beautiful.
most.
Really?
yeah, the beauty
Wow.
of that ravioli is you serve one.
Yeah.
And so it's a dish of one gigantic ravioli over something scrumptious with scrumptious
egg
on top.
yolk.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
All right, so I'm just gonna take a cutter and cut these out.
Those are gorgeous, and all you need, I mean, that's my kind of
The
cooking.
dough's kind of thick, but it's better than.
It's a nice way of you telling me, a B. That's great.
So pretty simple.
Yep.
Yeah, invite your friends.
Invite your friends.
Make them work for you.
I love it. Are you going to make me try orecchiette as well?
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
But really quick, I'll just show you a tortellini because
Sure.
those are fun.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna cut some squares here.
It's funny, we were talking about the fact I used to teach more cooking, and I don't as much anymore, but the one class people always ask me to teach is pasta.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just so tactile and fun for us to do, and it's just a really fun way to spend time with people.
And it's Play-Doh for adults.
It is, and it tastes so good. It tastes so good.
I get paid to play with toys. So
Okay. You fold
fold it up.
across.
I
Like a
make up
wonton.
words for this. So I call this the handkerchief, and then I turn it into a diaper.
A diaper. That's a beautiful tortellini.
So this is really thick dough, but I wanted to really show it.
It's
and I made a
stunning.
really big one. When you're good, you can make them very
Really tiny.
But
That's I want to clap for that. That's absolutely beautiful, chef. That's amazing.
yeah.
So are you going to teach me how to make orecchiette, and then we're going to make a beautiful sauce? You all got to try it, right?
Yeah, what'd you
already.
think?
And I want to talk about the beer with it. Would you love, JR, I'd love to hear about Peroni and
Yes.
how we decided to pair these two things together.
Well, Peroni being a Italian lager, I mean, it
yeah.
just kind of comes naturally, right? If we're
Yes.
talking about pasta in the film and these beautiful dishes. And so, yeah, we're obviously in the heart of wine country.
Right.
So beer on a bit of unfamiliar territory. But, yeah, we're just really excited to have this really light, crisp, effervescent lager that helps cleanse the palate and is really versatile too. I mean, I think that's one of the great things about Peroni is it's so easy to pair with food.
Right.
And that's really what this is all about, right? Is that it's light and crisp, but also a little bit of sweetness. And we use these really gorgeous European hops called Saz, which lends a little bit of sort of earthy, almost floral bitterness as well. So a lot going on in a very simple and approachable beer.
That's awesome. It does pair so nicely with so many things. And I think being in the wine country, we joke every great winemaker is a beer drinker. Actually, you know what I mean?
It's nice to have a break, right? I mean, I've certainly had my fill of wine so far this week. I hope everyone else has too. But yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of an option, right? And so, we're happy to be out here.
It's a perfect pairing, in my opinion. Everybody else thinks so as well. Yeah, it's like
Beautiful.
So what are we going to do with this beautiful pasta? Again, it's interesting to feel the weight of it.
It's
and
heavy.
definitely drier than you would maybe think it's supposed to be. But it's dense.
You want it to be dense,
Very
dry.
dense, okay.
And this is really nice.
Okay, so now
you
what?
could keep kneading it. How long does Evan knead for?
I mean, depending, right?
I mean, he makes like
Huge batches.
I've seen him knead for a while.
Wow.
Let it rest for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
In a plastic bag.
Yeah,
so it can hydrate
Yep.
and relax a little bit. Got it.
Right. Yep.
Right.
So I cover mine with plastic wrap just so it doesn't get a film, and I leave it out. A lot of doughs are like, throw it in the fridge, go in the fridge, go in the fridge. Not pasta dough. You want it to be nice and room temperature. When it gets cold, it's hard to work with.
And then it's like really hard to bring it back to something that you'd want, I've found.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you made some pasta dough in advance, just make sure you take it out of the fridge maybe 2 or 3 hours ahead and let it sit so it's nice and warm.
Okay.
Working with cold dough isn't fun.
Okay.
But here we have a different type of dough. This is a rustic, what I was talking about outside of the big city. This is a very peasant type dough. It's just semolina flour, water, and a little bit of olive oil. Some places don't even put olive oil.
Right.
So you're gonna see it's a completely different texture.
This is when I'm always amazed that you can take those ingredients and come up with something that you can turn into a delicious, delicious pasta.
Here's a Play-Doh technique real quick.
Okay,
Snake.
good.
I was just gonna say in Bari, which is where the orecchiette scene happens in the film,
Right.
like they are just semolina and water.
Yep.
Like just
Purists.
like slightly warm water and semolina, but it's also like a socioeconomic thing. Like
Right.
Yeah, it
not
really
being in the
is.
big cities, like you can't afford eggs every day.
Yeah. Right.
But everybody's got a bag of flour. Your neighbor
it's not
does.
even milled as nicely. For
Yeah.
a dough like this, I'll use 00 flour, which is the smallest grain you
Theirs
can
is
get.
coarse.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
coarse. So if you've seen the movie,
Yes.
I actually watched Orchidee videos on YouTube years ago of these women.
I love this.
So I like using a butter knife
Okay.
with the ridges because you're gonna have better luck. So
And that would actually make the sauce stick to it and cling a
yes.
little more. Okay,
so we're
now
gonna
what?
cut some
Okay.
and try how she does and drag it.
Oh, stop it. Okay,
Yeah.
so how thick was yours when you started?
Little.
So right before you.
Yeah, and this weighs a lot harder.
Oh, wow.
Evan even is
F.
kind of blown away. But you can see the ridges there.
Wow.
That catches the
I
sauce.
need a do-over. And the people that you went and shot with these, they can do how many of these? I mean, in their sleep.
Oh, they do like kilos per hour.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Like their hands move at like lightning
That's not a bad
speed.
one.
No.
Little
But
thick.
they've also been doing it every day, 7 days a week, since they were 6 years old.
Right.
Right.
And now they're in their 70s. So it's like, I mean, repetition is
Yep.
how you learn a craft.
Absolutely.
They're incredible at it. And there was even some ladies that you could see they're like in their 80s, their hands are totally warped. And
Yeah.
they're arthritic and they can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But they'll sit at the table with their neighbors who are doing them
Wow.
and go through the motion without dough just to be part of the ritual.
Wow.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So if the knife one doesn't work for you,
That would be
it's
me.
kind of difficult. It took me years to figure
To
out.
learn it.
The other way is to take
Okay.
a little piece,
Yep.
dip your thumb in flour, and do a thumb
I think
drag
that's how I learned.
or kitty.
Uh-huh.
And this is great because I do this with little kids, and they're always
That's
really
fun.
good at it. But the rougher, the better, and you want to have a nice thin spot in there.
I really do love, too, how he gets to tell this story and share about how really every pasta is meant to be paired with a different type of sauce for so many reasons. How it clings to it. If you're going to have meat and other things, it has to be able to hold up to it. How you get all the flavors in one bite. Just all of the stories Evan can share through his food are incredible.
All right, so you make me 1,000 more, okay?
I'm not good at this. I'm like,
And I'm gonna cook
haven't
some.
done this in a while. Oh, that's so funny.
right,
Are we really
grab-
cooking the ones we're making? Mine are gonna be.
I have some here.
I'm so glad. Thank you, Paula Leduc Catering, for making beautiful pasta for all of us before I was
Yes.
here. They're doing such an amazing job. They've cooked every tasting that we've had so far. This is number 9 out of 12, and they just keep bringing out beautiful dish after beautiful dish. So,
Beautiful.
so if I can't make my orecchiette, it's all good.
Yeah.
What have you got in the pan?
This is breciola.
Breciola.
There we go.
Okay.
It's a really delicious dry cured Italian beef. It's also made out of other proteins, but generally it's beef. I'm gonna let it crisp. This is the same technique a lot of pastas start with, is a fatty meat being cooked down to be the kind of flavor of it. It smells really good.
Most of us are used to saying prosciutto if it's Italian, but this beef is amazing.
Amazing. So once it ges nice and crisp, you always want to build your flavors. I'm gonna add some garlic.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah. Some fresh garlic. I'm gonna drop my pasta really quick. Who salts their pasta water? Everybody raise your hands, please. Okay.
Oh, good. We right
It's
answer.
the difference between going out for pasta and eating pasta at home. It's why my friends go, why is your spaghetti so good?
You've seasoned it.
You season it like the ocean, right?
And I think that we keep talking about salt in every demo here, but I
Right.
think it's the difference between a decent cook and a great cook. It's just knowing how to season your food.
Right.
And that when you're cooking at home, you're probably not using as much salt as they use in restaurants. You know, packaged
Yep.
food, restaurant food, it's very heavily seasoned, but
Don't be afraid. And it's the number
Right.
one thing I teach is to not fear salt.
Right.
I watch people go, but what we really need is handfuls.
I'm going to get this technique down before we leave today.
Yeah. So they always
Get in
say if
there.
you go out for pasta late at night, the pasta water at the restaurant will be the best because it's full of starch. The salt has cooked down. Is this true?
Is this
exactly
true?
right. And I learned that on the job, so
You
to
did.
speak. But like, they'll never cook their pasta in fresh water.
Which is,
No.
yeah.
I want that
they'll have like
murky
they'll
stuff.
waste some. You know,
Yeah.
they'll like just they'll like season the water by just burning pasta
Right.
until it's ready and starchy.
That's awesome. Yeah, why would you waste it, right? That's the other thing. Why would you throw out all the water and start over? And you get all of that awesome starch in there. So you just strain it out, put it in your sauce, and you're done.
Beautiful. right.
I'm curious too what you learned coming out of this film. Like, what was the most surprising thing after doing this with Evan? Any big eye-opening moments?
Well, I'll give my answer, and then Alex can hop in with his. Like, well, we have a new appreciation for how difficult it is to open a restaurant.
Right.
I could have kind of never understood, you know, how much life, passion, heart, money is on the line anytime someone opens their doors in a restaurant. And then the other like interesting thing to learn was that like traveling through these villages with Evan,
Yeah.
you know, you're meeting the people, and you're kind of realizing that a lot of this pasta is on its last generation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it is important that people learn how to make orecchiette. and
Exactly.
Talk about it.
Pass it on.
This is like
Pass it on.
This is
I
kind
love
of
that.
truly. This is kind of the dream of the film.
Right.
Because you go to these villages, the ladies are like, our kids aren't doing it. Like,
Yeah, they're the ones.
it's over, and they're in their 80s.
Wow.
So the dream is that people
We
would
continue.
discover it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how quickly this came together. So you added the radicchio, some
Yeah, I
bitter
put
green.
some thyme first.
Okay.
That I picked off the stem. Some chicories, which are in season right now. If you
Gorgeous.
guys aren't into chicories, get into it. It's so good. I'm gonna squeeze some lemon in here for
Gorgeous.
brightness. I just
Yum.
caught the seeds in my hand.
You're like me. I don't even use, a lot of
you
times I don't
need
even use
stuff.
a tool. I just
and then
go
I'm
for
gonna
it.
put it a little bit of heavy cream. I know this is for you.
Oh my
Make you smell
gosh.
good all day. You're gonna show up to an after party and people will be like, "Do you smell garlic?" It's me.
This is like, I would be happy to walk around smelling like this pasta.
Just beautiful, right?
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Wow.
So this isn't hard to do. This
No.
is easy. And if you have some kids at home to make the orchietti for you, you're one step closer.
And I think, too, there are so many fresh pastas that you can buy that are ready to go. So if you don't have the time to always do this, for me, this is like a celebration of food, or like you said,
Yeah.
a great way to
Party.
get people together,
Yes.
right? But you
Make
can
food
cheat.
a party.
Ooh, I like this.
Together. Cheese.
Just a little bit. Is this just Parmigiano Reggiano?
Yes.
Okay, the best.
I turn the heat off when I put my Parmesan in. I think Lydia taught me that.
I think she's clapping for you.
Okay.
She's like, "It's never gonna
Parmesan! It's my favorite
Pasta.
thing. All right, so here we have a very simple fall pasta dish.
It's beautiful.
There's some fresh cheese over there.
Ooh, shall we?
Yeah.
You want more?
Yeah,
Can I do it?
of course.
Okay.
You guys want some of this batch?
Yes, please.
Yeah, hand me your plate.
Oh my
We up
gosh,
here?
look at this. I love it, Chef.
Yeah.
This is stunning.
All right.
How do you like the bitter
Fresh
greens
batch.
in it? Oh my God. Yummy? I love the balance with the cream.
And you can make this
the lemon.
vegetarian in a pinch,
You
but
definitely could.
yes.
You could do, well, I'm thinking anchovy as well, because we spent a lot of time with anchovies
Oh,
this week. Instead of the beef, if you
anchovies.
wanted to, you could melt those
I
down.
almost
Oh.
did anchovies, but the people don't love it as much as other things.
I still smell like anchovies from 2 days ago here. We made bagna cotta, which is just garlic and anchovy. It was unbelievable.
Delicious. I picked a really
So
bad
good.
weekend to be
Oh,
carb
thank
free.
you.
Yeah.
A really bad weekend to be carb free.
No.
Yeah.
This is amazing. And what about the beer with it? What do you think of the pairing?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I mean, when they sent me this recipe and I saw we were using Parmesan, I mean, that is our classic Peroni cheese pairing is Parmesan, obviously. Again, the Italian connection. We do Whole Foods Crack the Parm program every
Right.
spring. And,
Oh, it's so great.
Yeah, it's a great event, and we have Peroni out there. So I love the way that, it helps to balance out some of the bitterness from the chicory.
Yeah.
As well as, the effervescence helps to cut through some of the richness from the cream as well as the cheese. I mean, to me, this is how a beer and food pairing should go. This is perfect.
Amazing.
Oh, great.
You brought something up too. I think we're so spoiled now. People are always asking me, where do you get your ingredients? How do you find everything? And of course, I'm lucky enough to live in a town with an adorable farmer's market. But now Whole Foods has all of this. You used to not be able to source the flour or the semolina the way you want it. And now it's
Double
all,
O's there.
Double O is available in bulk. So you can use what they'd be using in Italy. And it's very accessible to us here, which is great.
It's perfect.
So
Yeah.
good. So good.
So this dough right here,
Yeah?
this is what you would use in your extruder. This is how spaghetti is made.
Okay.
It's a really good rough dough for those heartier things. And just remember with eggs, it's more delicate. That's what you're gonna make your lobster raviolis and your really smooth, delicate pastas with.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, this is a beautiful execution of orchietti. Please do not even look at these. I'm just gonna keep practicing until the next demo.
Yeah, I'm sure the best way to practice anything is make 700.
Repetition.
Yep.
Right?
And they were talking about staging. This is a great stage.
Exactly. Can you share with us when the film is showing here at the film festival? Have any of you have they screened it yet?
No, it screens today
Okay.
at 5 o'clock.
Wow.
At the Copia Theater.
Oh, right down the street.
Yeah. And
So
also,
exciting.
we obviously, film festival environment, we would love for you to experience it theatrically.
Right.
Because we put so much into what it would look like. But it's also available on Amazon Prime
Wow.
and Hulu. And it will be up on iTunes really soon.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
That's
much.
incredible.
Guys,
Incredible.
thank you
feat.
all
And I'm
so much.
I'm so happy you could tell his story. It's a really powerful one, especially when we don't really talk about when things don't go right in the restaurant business, and how he can do this. So before we break, are there any questions for Chef? Any of us?
No?
Oh, well, I want to thank you. And by the way, we're demoing the Monogram induction cooktop and the ovens between the demos. So if you want to come try some more food and check out the amazing appliances, you're welcome to. But thanks for spending part of your day with us. We hope we see you again. Have a great afternoon.
Make some pasta.
Make some pasta.